Well, we don't have tomatoes outside yet, but we have some ripe tomatoes in the house. Hi everybody, welcome to Simply Living PEI. If you haven't been here before, my name's Tammy and we just share our little life here on PEI. So I came in the barn to start talking because I tried to start talking outside, but it's a little windy and I figured we might as well start here. So I thought I'd show you a little bit of an update on the gardens and quite a few of our little seeds that I've planted. Makes me happy, but also the barn. We are almost there. So check out what's going on the homestead. So beautiful day for a change. It's fabulous. As you can tell, we have a dandelion crop. So I had to defy the no-mow May and actually had to cut the grass. It was getting so thick that there's no way my poor lawnmower and the tractor would have been able to get through it. So we did have to mow it once, but lots of food for the bees. So I thought I'd show you our current update around with the gardens and the barn especially. Poor Freddie has been working so hard to get that cleaned up before he has to go back to work, but thought I'd show you the state of the gardens and how everything is coming along, because hopefully soon we can get seedlings in the ground. Now this one I did plant. We do have a few things coming up, as you can see. Hi. And a few onions, but we have a resident cat, and that cat is a hunter. But at least it didn't disturb all the spinach, well, the majority of it anyway. But yeah, whatever it was chasing, it was in this flower bed. But the other one we did plant. Check this out. All of these guys are breakfast radishes. So they're those longer ones. They're actually kind of tasty. Over here, we did plant that last of the seed tape, and it is not coming up that I can tell. We also have some basil, and over here is cilantro, which is actually starting to pop, but we'll see how it goes. The other thing though, the raspberries are looking fabulous. Now, this time of year, of course, there's not a lot of stuff that's sprouting. Not a lot of stuff is growing yet. This is PEI. So our zone is 5B where we are. So 5B, it's still pretty chilly. So eventually things will be sprouting and going crazy, which is cool. Now the apple trees that we planted, the one that broke, check them out. So I am thoroughly impressed with how well this little apple tree came back. Now we don't have any flowers on it. It's all just leaves. I don't expect any flowers on that apple tree, because if there's flowers that are on it, the apples, they're not really going to get very big anyway. But take a look at the other apple tree. We're happy, we're pretty, and we have flowers. Check it out. So right here, we have quite a few flower buds that should be opening soon. I mean, oh, those ones down there, they may open actually pretty quick. So this apple tree, we've gotten, I think, 2 apples off this little guy. I mean, he's not very old, but look at that. Something's at it. I did not spray this tree this year though, so I decided not to. I want to see how it goes. Now I probably should have sprayed that tree, and we've talked about it before. I really don't like spraying them, but the last couple of years, this just have not been good for the little fruit trees that are on this property. And those 2 new ones, same thing. They're having a little bit of an issue, so I'm hoping that they'll come back all right. I'm not sure whether you guys can even hear me. It's getting windy. But the one tree that Fred and I are both shocked about is actually the tiniest cherry tree out of the three. So we've got the big Bing cherry tree, and then we have two sour cherries, and the one was always tiny, but it's got leaves galore. I mean, it's crazy. So this is the big Bing cherry tree. He's got some beautiful buds for leaves and things. I don't see any flowers yet, but he should be coming up. The ants are having a great day on it though. But look at this little guy. Look at the leaves. I mean, that's fabulous. And his big brother over here, his big brother is also starting to leaf. Now this one, he gets battered around a little bit more, so he takes a little bit more time. But yeah, this makes me happy. Yep. Pee 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 pee. Yeah, see all the yellow beans? But yeah, see the new seedlings coming up over there. Oh, we have some green beans. Oh, we do. I can't tell where the beets are in here. Oh, wait a minute. I lied. Those are beets. Yeah, we have beets. We have yellow beans. Green beans starting to pop. The only problem with weeding this garden now is if I pull these out and I'm not careful, I could dislodge some of these new green beans. So a lot of this weeding won't get done for a while. Yeah, so we have a few more. I'm going to put a little bit of dirt on him. Oh, look at that. There's another green bean that's trying. Let's pop him back in the ground. You never know, it just rained. I don't want to dislodge beans. There we go. But yeah, quite a few green beans popping up. And we have beets. A few little beets. But the good spot that we have is a whole bunch of yellow beans. Yeah, I know. Getting all excited about yellow beans and they're barely breaking the ground yet. But for me, the beginning of gardening season, if you can hear me again, the beginning of gardening season for me is always fun. But the reason why I was coming out is I wanted to show you some of the things that we've done. Edging has been done for quite a few things. And some mulching, of course, but this is what we're going to be doing to the gardens, and I'm hoping this will work better. And it also looks like we can raise them as we go to turn them into raised beds. So this is what we've been doing. So this is the asparagus patch. So Fred, hi again, is edging all the way around the garden. So this one he started because this is where the asparagus will be going in. And if you can believe it, there has been next to no weeds that has shown up in here since we did it. The only thing that's here is a couple of plants that may or may not be volunteer pumpkins. Like that one. Oh geez, look, we have Swiss chard. Check it out. I didn't even see that. Yay, we have Swiss chard. But back to the point. The beds will be edged like this, and then we are going to be tilling this again. And then they will be mulched over. So hopefully we can start doing a really good battle against the weeds without using sprays. That being said, this garden we did mulch and put the fabric down. So we did finish it. There are still weeds that are poking through. That's gonna happen because we don't have it edged yet. But yeah, that looks so much better. This has made me happy. So yeah, see, we do have some that are just under the mulch that are creeping up. So these will be yanked as I go. And this nasty little vine thing that creeps everywhere. Anyway, sorry, tangent. But check it out, we have onions. And the garlic is looking fabulous. I am going to come through and trim them though, because when we did have that frost, the tips got a little thing, you know, a little ugly. We did cover them over. That's what these guys were for. But I'm really, really happy with how these how these garlic are coming out. And there are potatoes under there, if you can believe it. They have to be weeded out. And we're taking advantage of some of the tin to kind of cover up beside the rhubarb. But check out the rhubarb. Doesn't that look fabulous? Well, that was a quick garden tour, but like I said, we're edging slowly. So Fred's hoping to get the tomatoes, the 2 rows for the tomatoes with the edging around them before he hits back to work. And he's going to turn those walkways over. We kind of have no choice. And then they're going to get mulched, hopefully, after they get edged. We'd prefer to edge those ones first. Yeah, like you could hear me right now. Okay. So we want to edge those ones down there first. Probably the bottom end first, because that's where a lot of the brassicas are going to be going, and the peppers. And that way we can get the walkways, you know, covered up and mulched in. Hopefully that should control a lot of the weeds. And then eventually we're going to be... Wind again. Let's turn around. So eventually we're actually going to go around the gardens, probably about 2 feet as well, and just kill everything off around them. That way we have, you know, less weeds as we go. We hope. All right. They're not perfect, but so far they're better. Oh, she's not in her nest right now. There's a robin in there. So as we've been working in the barn here, she tends to fly away. Oh, that's probably her. So I'm going to get away from the door so she can come back to her nest. But while I'm here, we'll talk about the barn. We'll do it real fast so she can come back in. But Fred has cleaned so much of this thing out. And as you can tell, it's just getting worse and worse as the barn shifts. So I don't like coming in here. I admit it. But a really good indication of how much the barn has shifted is this wall. So if you can see, ooh, and as you can hear, yeah, that wall is not straight anymore. I'm getting out of here. We'll go to the other side. Well, this is the other side of the barn. So this little area right there, that's where we talked about the seeds the last time, because like I just showed you on the other side, the barn has a definite list to it now. So we've been working, well, I should say Fred's been working really hard to clean this whole thing out so we can start dismantling it. So this was our little jerry rig that we use to keep a lot of the wood dry for the winter. Now the wood that's in the stalls, we actually do want to try and save the stalls. So basically push these back up straight and save the stalls and kind of roof them over, because they work really, really well for storing the wood. So even if when the entire barn, as you can see, all that fabulous sunny sky, the entire barn will be down around it, but we should have more than enough material to cover the stalls up and use it to store wood until we can actually rebuild this poor thing. We're really hoping. But it's even gotten to the point where the old pig pen down here, Freddie can't even close that door anymore. So I'm not too sure. And then a lot of these pallets that we have, they'll be laid out behind the barn. So as we dismantle, so the steel will go on a pile. A lot of the wood will go on the pile. I mean, there's a lot of great usable wood. Even the windows, like these ones, we'll probably reuse a couple of these windows that aren't broken because we're gonna try and build a shed with a lot of the stuff that's in this barn. So yeah, it's a mess. We never even did put the rain barrels out this year. Should probably get those set up. Ooh, looks like I also forgot to clean the filters. All right, so I'm gonna clean the filters and then set it up. Freddie and his wood. Those are some big chunks of wood. Wow. That's the last of it from back there? Yep. Freddie, you've been working hard. A little bit. Good job. So the biggest thing that we need to actually save and store for next year, because we're not going to be able to use the barn, is wood for the stove. So as you know, we heat majorly most of the time. I have no idea where that sentence was going, but most of our heat is done by our wood stove. And of course, with the chimney, it makes a fabulous heat sink, lasts all night, which is great, even when it's 20 below. This past winter, I think we ran the boiler maybe a week, give or take. So, but yeah, first thing we had to do was figure out where we were going to put the wood. You can see Fred's trips back and forth with the wheelbarrow. So he just took the last load from the barn, and this is where it is. So he's been stacking it. A lot of this, of course, still has to be split. We have quite a few smaller ones in there that we'll use for the beginning of the season. But all these big guys, that's going to be our hopeful investment in the fall, a wood splitter, because I don't think the axes or our little electric chainsaw is going to do much for a piece of wood that size. And we still have the 2 stacks to cut up and get out here. But yeah, 1 load of hardwood for the winter and we are good. That's taller than I am. Freddie, that's a lot of wood.
It's not enough.
It's not enough for the winter, but with the other wood that we have cut and the 1 load we're going to get, we should probably have enough. So the storms and things have taken a bigger toll on the barn. But this is where I'm going to start. So I'm going to try my best to try and yank quite a bit of stuff off. Like the steel, the blue steel, because we do want to try and build a shed. So a lot of this blue steel siding is perfect for that. And a lot of the wood that's in the barn, but this is going to be one wicked job. But up here, you can see just how much that wall has pushed forward. Isn't that just crazy? So back where we started in the barn, so you could hear me because it is windy. So as a quick little garden update, nothing spectacular, just that the work on the barn will be commencing soon. We don't want to really start taking it down. It's been a busy day already, can you tell? We really don't want to start taking it down too much until, you know, the birds have finished nesting, because who wants to be evicted when you have small children? No one. But you can hear the creaks. Anyway, like I was saying, we're going to start getting it down. It'll be a slow job. to be absolutely honest, if we have a great big storm and wipes it out, it's not going to hurt anything either, because anything and everything that we need is technically out except for the rain barrels, but we have to move those. But yeah, like I said, quick little update. Not much happening in the garden at the moment when it comes to plants. We'll be planting seedlings soon. As soon as the temperature is about 8-10 degrees on average every night, then I know the seedlings will be fine. Hardening off this year seems to be a little difficult. The cucumbers aren't liking it at all, but hey, it happens. We do have some tomatoes growing in the house from those plants Fred put in pots last year, which is really kind of cool. And yeah, some work done in the garden. So that garden will get edged out properly again in the fall. And then we'll get rid of a lot of those weeds, which is great. We have to get some additives for the rows once they're actually proper, so we can kind of get it a little bit more sandy, because every year the soil does get better. And yeah, hope you guys are all having a fabulous spring. Hope you guys are getting your hands dirty somewhere, or at least helping somebody in their garden. Have a great day. Thanks for coming out, and come with us next time as we do our Simpler Life here on PEI.